Grade 11 and grade 12. It's Mr. Ntuli from the other side. Today, I just want to say, prepare for your future, because if you don't prepare for your future, it means you're prepared to fail, and we don't want that. Bear that in mind. Today, we'll be continuing with geometry, and we'll be looking at cyclic quadrilateral today, and I will prove that theorem, which is the opposite angles of a cyclic quad, that are supplementary, because this is the theorem which is examinable, and then we will look at the exam type questions based on the theorem that we have proved. Right. Grade 11. This is the theorem which is a theorem which is speaking of the opposite angles that are supplementary. It means angle A plus angle D will be equal to 180. Let us measure these angles so that we'll be able to be comfortable to show that these angles are supplementary. Angle A is 103, then angle D is 79.7 degrees. Wow, yes, it means when I add these two angles, really they will give me 180. Okay guys, what if I adjust these angles? What if I adjust these angles? You can notice that as these angles are changing, but the sum of their angles, which is equal to 180, it remains the same. Okay, now this is 86 degrees and this is 94 degrees, and when you add all of these two angles, they will give you 180. Okay, but we will prove this theorem because this is the one which is examinable. Number 2, let us look at the angle which is subtended by the same segment that they are also equal. The segment that we are talking about is EA1. EA1 is subtend angle F. Okay. Let us look at this theorem again. This theorem talks about equal angles that are subtended by the same segment. Which segment they are talking about? They are talking about segment EA1. It's segment EA1. Right? This segment EA1, it's subtend angle F. There is F. It also subtend angle G. There is G. Now, let us investigate that really these two angles are equal. Right. Let us measure these two angles. Angle F is 49 degrees and angle G is also 49 degrees. Okay. Right. Angle G is 49,3 and angle F is also 49,3. Wow, it means these angles are real equal. Okay, it means whenever I try to shift this angle A, exact these angles, they are equal. Right, let us look at this theorem. This theorem now is talking about an exterior angle of a cyclic quad which is equal to the opposite angle of a cyclic quad. Where is our exterior angle? This is our exterior angle. Where is the opposite interior angle? This is the opposite interior angle. And then they are saying that these angles are what? Are equal. Okay. Let us do our magic and check whether this theorem is correct. Now, if I measure angle ISK, it gives me 83 degrees. Then if I measure angle HJK, wow, it also gives me 83 degrees. It means really these angles are equal. We will use this theorem. And please, grade 11 and grade 12, the exterior angle should be extended on one of the lines from the cyclic quad. Please make sure that you take note of that. Last but not least, this is the other important theorem which speaks of equal angles which are subtended by equal chord. Okay, let us take any two equal chord and check whether that is correct again. Right, let me measure this chord LM. It gave me 5,3. Let me measure this chord NP. It also gave me 5,3. Right, it means these angles that are subtended by this chord, they also have to be equal. Right. Okay. Now, it means when we're speaking of chord NP, it subtend angle Q at the top, and chord LM, it subtend angle R. I hope we all see that. Okay, it means these angles now, they have to be equal. Okay, let us do our magic and check whether that is correct. Right. Now, let us look at angle LRM. It's 61,4 degrees. And let us look at angle NQP. It also 61,4 degrees. It means this theorem again is 100% correct. If your chords are equal, then check whether their angles are also equal. Please guys, make sure that you understand these theorems because we will use them as we proceed. Right, grade 11 and grade 12. As I promised that I will only prove this theorem under the cyclic quad because this is the one that should be examinable. Now, this is question 5.1, which was adopted from grade 11 2022. On this problem, you are required to prove that angle P plus angle R is equal to 180 degrees. And as you have saw on the previous video, that the opposite angles of a cyclic quad are supplementary. They add up to 180 degrees. Now, I hope you can attest with me that we need to construct before we do anything. Okay, now make sure that you join line SOQ. Why are we joining these two lines? So that we can create an angle at the center O, which would be O1, that would be twice angle R, and also angle O2, which would be twice angle P. Okay, let us write that down. We said join line SOQ. Okay, and then we have noticed that angle O1 is equal to 2 angle R. What is our reason? Yes, it's an angle at center. Okay, and then we can also find angle O2, which is equal to 2 angle P. Angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. And then our reason is angle at center. Okay, now we can conclude that angle O1 plus angle O2 is equal to, okay, yes, which is 360 degrees. angles around a point. Okay, then let us substitute instead of O1 to put 2R, instead of O2 to put 2P equal to 360 degrees. Lastly, what we need to do is we need to divide by 2 so that I will remain with angle R plus angle P, which will be equal to 180 degrees. That's how we accumulate all these 5 marks. Guys, let us put everything now into practice. Let us look at this question 5. Before we start our problem, please make sure that you don't look at the questions. Invest 1 or 2 minutes on the given statement and try to analyze your diagram and remind yourself all the theorem that you've covered. Then you can go to the questions. Let us check on the diagram. We have cycling at L and H on the center. Wait a minute. If we have a center, there are many things that we have covered about the center. Let us look at the center with 136 degrees. I hope you will agree with me that angle O is twice angle F because this is the angle at the center. And it means now we need to find half of 136 degrees, which will be 68 degrees. Okay, I can write that in short and say angle at center in case I want to use it. Wow. Just now we were dealing with a cyclic quad and I can see 4 lines on the cyclic, which is a cyclic quad. It means angle F plus angle H1, it also has to give me 180 degrees because this is a cyclic quad. And then if I add these two angles, it will be 112. Then to use this, I will say it's an opposite angles of a cyclic quad. Okay. Then before I proceed with my statement, I can also look at this smaller cycle because now I'm noticing an exterior angle of a cyclic quad. What we said about an exterior angle of a cyclic quad, we said it's equal to the opposite interior angle. It means this 112 is also equal to 112 because it's an exterior angle. Okay. Now, let us go back now and check how long it will take us to solve these problems after I've analyzed our diagram. Problem number 1, it says, calculate the size of F. Where can I find F? Wow. F is 68 degrees and we've already calculated that 68 degrees. It means I can just say this 5.1.1, we wanted to calculate size angle F. And we can notice that angle F is equal to 68 degrees. Why we said that it's an angle at center. Okay, that's how we're gonna get that 2 marks. And then for 5.1.2, we need to calculate the size of K. Wow, guys, we've already calculated the size of K. It's just that we need to follow all the steps that we did in order for us to find the size of K. We started by finding H1. H1, we said it's 112. Why we said that? Because we said F plus angle H1 is equal to 180. Why it's equal to 180? It's an opposite angles of a cyclic quad. Okay, then angle H1 will be 180 minus 68 degrees, which is 112. Then let us conclude now about our K. It means angle K is equal to angle H1, which equal to 112. Why we are saying so? Because an exterior angle of a cyclic quad. I hope you understood. If you didn't understand, make sure that you pause this video and try to make sense of it. Right, let us continue, guys. Let us look at 7.2. 7.2, hope you understand now that we don't jump to the questions. We invest 1 or 2 minutes, try to analyze the diagram, with the given statement. Let us do that, guys. In the figure, O is the center of the cycle, A, B, C, D, E. You wait a minute and look at the center. There is our center. Our center is O. Then I have a radius which is OB, a radius which is OA, a radius which is OD, a radius which is OE. There are many things that we know about the radius. The first one, if we can create a triangle which is ABO, then you can attest with me that B1 is equal to angle A. Okay? And with this triangle, you can agree with me that D1 is equal to angle E. Okay? Right. Now, if I'm still at angle at center O, with D2 again, it's equal to B2. Right? Now, for another thing about the center is the angle at the center. If O2 will be twice angle A, do you agree with me? Will also be twice angle A, which means we still have the same segment, which is BD. Right. Let us continue with the statement, guys. BD is equal to DF. BD is equal to DF. Wow. What are they trying to tell us? What are they trying to tell us? Talk to me. If F is equal to 10 degrees, you have a triangle? Yes, we have an isosceles triangle. It means, yes, come on. It means B3 is also 10 degrees. Thank you so much. As we are still on A, let me remind myself it equal angles, opposite, equal side. Just in case if I need to use this. Right. Still have a triangle grade 11 and grade 12. I have to look for an exterior angle of a triangle. Wow, yes, there is an exterior angle which is D2. It means D2 will be 10 plus 10, which will be 20. I have to take that into account. It means D2 will be equal to 20. A short reason for it, it's an exterior angle of a triangle. Also bear that in mind. If now we have D2, we can find B2. Do you agree with me? Okay, thank you so much. Let's just continue because I'm just analyzing that diagram before we read the questions. BOE and BCF are straight lines. Where is that BOE? BOE. Wow. If BOE is a straight line and this straight line is passing through the center, what are they trying to tell you? They're trying to tell you that BOE is a diameter. And there are many things that we know about the diameter. The first one, which is very important, it's an angle which is subtended by a diameter, which is 90 degrees, and their reason is semicircle. Let us look for BE. BE is subtending at D, the whole of D. It means this D will be 90. Why? It's because of semicircle. Remind me about that when we need it. Okay, now we have invested plus or minus 4 minutes now on this statement. Let us check now how long it will take us to solve this problem. Let us go for 7.2.1. For 7.2.1, we need to calculate D2. We need to calculate D2. Right. Guys, we said D2, it's an exterior angle of F and B3. Exactly. But let us start by telling them that we found that B3 first, which was not given, and then we say B3 is equal to 10 degrees. Why it's that? It's an equal angle, opposite, equal sides. Okay? Therefore, it means now will be equal to 10 degrees plus 10 degrees. Why? It's an exterior angle of a triangle. That will give you 20 degrees. That's how we're gonna get these 3 marks, guys. Right. Now, let us look for A. For 7.2.2, 7.2.2, they said calculate the value of A. And guys, if we go back to our statement, they said something about AODF. It means AOD, it's still a diameter because it's passing through the center. It means this whole angle will be 90 degrees. Let us tell them that angle A, B, D, it's equal to 90. Why? It's because of semicircle. Okay. Now, we have the angle of D2. We have 90. Then you can be able to find A. It means A plus 90 plus 20 is equal to 180, which is what? Angle, sum of angles of a triangle. Okay, then angle A will be transpose this 110 and then it will be 70 degrees. Right. 7.2.3, they ask you now to find the value of O2. O2. Remember that now we have 70 for A. For O2, we said O2 is at the angle at the center, which is twice the angle at the circumference. I hope you remember that. It means O2 will be equal to 2 angle A. Why? It's an angle at center. Then our A was 70 degrees. It means O2 is 140 degrees. Okay, let us put that on our diagram, which is 140 degrees. Right, I hope you still understand, guys. Let us look for C1 now. C1, where's C1? There's C1. Okay, for C1, and there's this trend that each and every problem they ask you above, it has to link with the following problem that they are going to ask you. It means now, C1, if I can try to create a cyclic quad for C1, it should be CDAB, 4 lines, CDAB, it means C1 is opposite to A, yes, then C1 plus A will be equal to 180. Thank you so much, guys. And then 7.2.4, C1 plus A is equal to 180. Exactly. Why it's that? It opposite angles of a cyclic quad. Then C1 plus 70 is equal to 180, right? And then we can say now C1 is equal to 110 degrees. Right. I hope you can still follow what I'm doing. Right. Let us look now for 7.2.5. Okay. Now we are looking for angle E. Where can I find angle E? There is angle E. Okay. Right. Now angle E, I can find angle E by using same segment BD. Yes, same segment BD, or angle at the center, which is O2. Then if you're using same segment BD, it means angle A is equal to 70 degrees. Thank you so much. It means angle E is equal to angle A, which equal to 70 degrees. Why we are saying that? It's same segment. Right? Okay, it means angle E now is also 70. Then let's go for 7.2.6. we are looking for angle C2. There's C2. Okay. Right. Now, they want us to find angle C2. There's C2. Okay. For C2, I have C1. Okay. I can use an adjacent angle of a straight line to find C2, which is 180 minus 110, which would be 70. But since now it's in my blood to use cyclic quadrilateral, I can check for a cyclic quad. Since C2 is an exterior angle, then wow, C2 is an exterior angle of angle A. Again, C2 will be 70. Let me use the strategy and say angle C2 is equal to 70. Why? It's an exterior angle of a cyclic quad. Right. Then, last but not least, let us look for 7.2.7, which is angle O3. Angle O3 is here. Okay. Again, I can use the method of a straight line. Because BOE is a straight line. It means I can use adjacent angles of a straight line. Or, since I have angle D1, which is 70, I can use sum of angles of a triangle. But let me go with the angles of a straight line. It means O2 plus O3 is equal to 180. Why we are saying so? It's an adjacent angle of a straight line. Therefore, O3 plus 140 it equal to 180. Then what is O3? It will be 40 degrees. Yes. That's how, guys, we come up to a conclusion of this problem. But if you will agree with me, is that invest some few minutes on your diagram, check the given statement, and then show some hidden information on the diagram before you go to the problems. It was Mr. Ntuli from the other side. I love you so much, guys. Keep on working hard. Remember that by working hard, it simply means that you care for your future and you want to succeed.